rather cut soap from him compared to.
I know, right?
I don't.
Okay,
I don't.
mean,
I
like,
don't
it looks
use.
way
I don't
better.
use tablet soap. I am a liquid. I can pour soap for you. I can't cut.
Right.
okay. Hello, guys. It's Ray again. Welcome to OVE TV channel.
But what do we know? And start again.
Today we have two other guests in the house. We have William, who's a writer, and we have Mojoyin. She's in tech. Hi, guys. Welcome.
Well.
Yeah, William was about to cut soap for us.
Yeah.
Pour soap.
Okay.
I don't use
Pour.
tablet soap.
Nice.
Do we have that on camera? Thank you.
Okay, so today we'll be talking about Suwedo. Can you help me? It's difficult to pronounce.
Today we're talking about pseudo-elitism in Nigeria, not Suwedo. I mean, I think Suwedo is
AKA
nicer.
fake life.
I can see why you would say Suwedo. I mean, the P is still silent in pseudo. So
Yeah. I mean, Suwedo sounds
Suwedo
nice.
sounds. I think we could make that work.
No.
No,
No.
you guys have no sense of
Pseudo.
adventure. I think
No,
Suwedo.
there's no sense of
If I was
adventure.
Spanish,
It's
I'll
a-
call
it's
it-
a-
You know what I
it's
mean?
an English rule.
Pseudo-elitism.
Pseudo-elitism, whichever one you guys choose, it's fine. But we're talking about pseudo-elitism in Nigeria. First of all, what is elitism? Like, what do you guys have any idea about what elitism is? So you guys can just introduce us to the topic. Like,
Oh, I mean, my idea of elite is just being a class above the rest. So if I say I'm an elite swimmer, it means yeah. So you guys swim too, but can't swim with the elite. It's like so it's just a way of pointing out class difference to me.
okay.
It's just basically saying there are levels to this thing. Just I'm different. Just
My lane is higher than.
exactly. Just levels to this thing.
We're above all.
Exactly. That kind of thing.
Well, so generally, elitism, yes, obviously, is what they both explained. Is just like people who feel like they're above other people, maybe in class, in social ranking, or intelligence, whatever, right? That's elitism. And we're talking about pseudo-elitism today, pseudo meaning fake. So there's this idea in Nigeria that there are people who live the fake life, you know, people who claim to be among the elite or want to be or look like they're part of the elite.
It's not an idea. The actual people living fake life. Young people. Mostly due to peer pressure.
Well, fake is relative, though. If you ask me.
I mean, but first of all, how do you separate living a fake life from living an aspirational life?
Exactly.
That is my first how like if today, like say for example, I remember when I was littler, because I'm still little, I was a big rap fan, and so you know when I had small money, I'd bought like baggy jeans, fake ice, like all that stuff. But for me, I just wanted to be
A
that.
rapper.
So I now that I think about it, you might say I was pretending I was a pseudo, you know, but I just really wanted to catch the vibe. So how do you separate? How do you know that if I'm renting big house in Lake, it's not because I'm aspiring that, you know, to enter, so I will really be living like that.
So I think maybe we can place a line between those when you examine something like, say, for example, someone wants to buy an expensive car just because they want to show off to people. Maybe the car is not even very functional for the person or very useful for the person, but the person just wants to buy it because it's expensive and because other people are going to see him and be like, oh yeah, this guy is a big guy.
Anyone that
How do
owns
you
any
tell
sports
really?
car in
But
Lagos.
really, how do you tell that I'm not buying it because it works for me? What if I choose to live that kind of life because that is what works for my mental health? What if I need that particular thing to be able to go through my day to day?
So when I was talking about functionality, I meant because I used functionality because I was talking about cars. Say for example, buying a sports car in Nigeria with terrible roads, right? It's not very functional.
What if
I mean, it works, but it's not very functional in a place like, say, Lagos.
Functional is relative, to be honest. What if I'm buying those things as an investment? I mean,
Yeah, but then that wouldn't really be our topic anymore. That would be you
But then
actually
it
being
means-
authentic, because
but then my point, but you won't see me as authentic because you don't know why I'm
No,
doing
it's
it.
not
So
about-
it looks fake.
No.
When you look at me, you're thinking, why on it? Why is she forming fake?
But that's looking from the outside in. I'm talking
Exactly.
about from the inside out. Like, you personally, you know that this car isn't functional for you. Like, you know the fuel consumption is high, it's too low for the roads, you can't get parts easily. If something gets bad, you're going to have to import it, which will cost you more, and all those things. And you can't even get proper mechanics who can handle the car if you're having issues. For example, it's not very functional for you, but because it's a car that when you drive it, like, heads are going to turn, like heads are going to turn.
Okay, I have a point here.
Yeah.
Speaking about getting luxury things, you know,
Mhm.
in this society we are in Nigeria,
Mm-hmm.
you need to have some kind of things to roll with some kind of people
Mm.
that will take you to some kind of places. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So
You see, now we
You
are
need to-
getting into the meat of the
if-
topic.
even if you have to borrow
Mm.
or you have to like rent,
Mm.
you just have to look
So
certain
basically,
way.
fake it till you make it kind of thing.
to for you to be able to sit among this kind of
Mhm,
people. So
mhm.
I feel like getting a car, a sports car in Nigeria might not be functional, but it might be.
Just
You
get
know,
you the right attention. You
Yeah,
mean.
get you the
Say-
right
say-
attention.
Speaking about this, I have this friend who I would not call his name here for obvious reasons, but he invested in the G-Wagon Mercedes, and this is just literally after his first deal. And I was like, dude, what is wrong with you? You haven't bought a house. I know what he told me. It was like, yeah, but I cannot be driving to these meetings where we're talking about 500 million, 1 billion, and I'm driving this car. These guys won't even trust me. They'd be like, you can run with my money. They want to see someone that they feel, oh, this guy, you know. But I feel where the problem now is, and I mean, I can't speak for all Nigeria because I don't live everywhere, but in Lagos specifically, is I feel Lagos is so elitist that if you are not in that class, it is almost a kind of disease on its own. It's in how they treat you everywhere you go in Lagos. If you go to like some kind of bars, just when they look at you, it is in the kind of table they will offer you. There are places where, okay, I'll also not call them in case they want to sponsor sometime, but there is a bar that we've all heard about on the island. I wouldn't say more than that. I'm tempted to the first letter, but I'll leave it at that. That they send people back all the time, but they will never send you back if you came dressed away or in a kind of car. Or so I feel like there is so much pressure that eventually, like, people can't even. In fact, the people that are living this quote unquote fake life, it's actually more of a suffering than a cruise, basically, because you still get to go back to your whatever real
Sapa
life
games.
you're living and just be
Sapa
like,
life.
you understand, and just be
Mm.
like, for how long can I really, cope
It's-
with moving like this?
So bearing down on that, like, just going down and tracing back, maybe if we're trying to draw a like line between how we were raised or like our society in general from way back, how certain things or objects or people or certain things were used to classify people. Like, someone can speak in a particular place because he owns this. Like, okay, say for example, maybe the Fulani is the number of cows you have means you're a person of influence, and there are certain places that you can speak. And maybe for Igbo people, like, okay, maybe the number of wives and sons you have, you understand, and then your farm produce and all that means you can actually have a voice, like in this, like a deciding factor. You can be a deciding factor in issues that govern the entire society. So do you think it's something that elitism in general for Nigeria, you think it's something that stems from our culture, or is it something that is it an innate human thing to just want to be higher?
I actually think it's an innate human thing. Everybody has a level of comparison to everybody. You feel there's a need to create a standard from which you have to then compare. So if you are this, if I am this, if I can get to this, then I am I can be I'm accepted around this cycle. So it's just a natural thing that you want to belong to a particular group to be able to have access to a particular thing or access to advantage. For example, I would love that I'm successful enough to be able to live in a gated environment whereby I can bring my children up in a certain way. I'm aspiring to get to a certain level where I know that, okay, at this point, I'm good, at least as a starting point. So I think it's a natural thing on for human beings, apart from even society. Then society now begins to set those standards. But for a person, by nature, there is a standard that you would like to, that you aspire to get to as a regular human being.
I definitely buy into the idea that most of the impulse is very, very natural. You know? And I think no matter the country you go to, it's just, all right, since we're already here, so I'll tell you a not too funny story. For me, might be funny for you. So when I first moved to UK for school, I'd come from Nigeria where we eat everything with spoon, which to me was what you do as a human being. It made sense. Larger surface area, you can shovel more, you can eat faster. But on leaving boarding school here, I realized that no, it's you can't just eat everything with spoon. And I dated this girl whose name, again, I wouldn't mention. And she had to put me through this whole tutorial on how to like use forks and knives and how to like set it at 4 o'clock if you were done and how to leave it open if you wanted more. And in my mind, I was just like, this is ridiculous. Wow. But then later we broke up and stuff. And someone made a joke and they were like, oh, man, William is not polished enough for this girl.
Ooh.
Yeah, I thought not funny for me, funny maybe to you. And then it's a thing where like I was too fresh out of night to get it. But now that I get it, I understand that in their own elite space, that is what the stunting is about. It's about mannerisms. It's about, you know, you both will call it etiquette. That's a fancy name. It's like if you know, you know. If you don't know, if you be eating from tin, you will not know how to do all these ones. You know, so I think anywhere you go, there's always that, you know, like all the concept of branding is largely foreign. Why do they make Rolexes and Omegas? Then you now see maybe Casios, yeah, because they arrange all these things because they already know that elites must do elite things. And if you go to places like Dubai or there, the elite there is not even, we are learning elitism. The elitism there is on another, you have one lion, I have 2 tigers.
Oppression.
It's not a function of oppression. It's just human nature. There has to be somebody up there and there has to be somebody up there and somebody down there.
Yeah, it's just egoism. It's just that idea that...
Just the way it works, really. That's how society can function as far as I'm concerned. There has to be somebody there and somebody
because my guy has the worst saying for it. It's like, somebody has to clean the toilets.
Okay.
Yeah, that's terrible.
I mean,
terrible. You know? I mean, where I think it does pose a real problem, to sort of like circle back to our topic, is when you are being a pseudo-elitist, and you forget that you are being pseudo-elitist. Like there's this quote from, I don't remember this book's name, Khalid Hussein. It's gone now. But anyways, this guy says that there's nothing wrong with being a coward. But there is only a problem when the coward forgets that he's a coward and thinks himself a hero. Because that's when you now go and do something. They will now catch you. And I think here, people live so long in this pseudo wave that after a while, you know, someone that has 10K in their bank account can be on the road and be shouting, do you know who I am? Like, Benny, I don't, and, and I'm sure none of us do. But I really do think in Lagos, after a while, people really start buying into the idea that this is real. And I don't know how much time we have, because this particular disease of believing it, I think it affects men differently and it affects women differently. I don't know which example we should go for first.
Because women are more...
I'm not sure if you want to go there
you know that is going to be another topic entirely.
Let's just say
It's not going to be a topic or a debate.
We'll find out when we get there.
It depends on how you put it.